Do we want a sequel?
I say yes. And
Really?
I would not have said that before I saw the movie.
But you got to give it time.
It's the Untitled Film Project Podcast. It's the Naked Gun episode. A return to the slapstick silliness of the original Naked Gun from the late 80s, early 90s, as Frank Drebin Jr. bumbles his way through more police squad crime solving.
I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
I'll find them. This is what I do. Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke.
After we talk Naked Gun, we have a big question.
The big question this week is, what older movie, we'll use older generally, still stands the test of time for a comedy? Do we care about what genre it is?
Yes.
It's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah, keep it Naked Gun here. So we were worried, just you'll get to here in a second, we were worried that maybe this wouldn't be able to hold up,
Right.
this whole idea. So we ask you, what comedy have you gone back and watched and been like, you know what? This would still work.
Initial takes, Naked Gun, The Return. Justin Bradford.
It gave me everything I needed and wanted out of the rehash of this franchise. Dumb, stupid bits that continue on throughout the film, dry delivery, which Liam Neeson was incredible at, some really good callbacks, a few cameos, and different from the Happy Gilmore type of cameo set where it's just like hitting you with it, which is fine for what that was. Mm-hmm. This one had the commitment to a bit, which is what is missing from a lot of comedy now, and what is signifying of comedy that we experienced a lot in the 90s. And decades before, but from my age, the 90s are when I grew up and very just influential as being
Formative.
Formative years.
Formative years.
Especially with comedy, then you think of the Naked Guns that came out in the 80s, 90s, your Airplane in
Airplane,
before that,
good
and
one,
then
yep.
your Austin Powers and things like that where there's bits. And I miss comedy. I'm not saying there needs to be a rehash of this, but there is a time and a place for these comedies to be. And this was the time and place. We needed this. We needed Naked Gun back, or this type of comedy. Because it's a time to go to the theater, a 90-minute film, to just truly shut down your brain and laugh.
Yep.
Right? To where you can enjoy your experience at the movie theater, and it's going to hold up well to rewatch later, because you can just say, you know what, I feel like laughing, I'll put it on at home, and I know it's going to be funny, and you're going to be able to quote certain things from it, you're going to remember certain bits.
You're going to forget things.
You're going to forget
there's
so
many,
much.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, within the first 10 seconds, I laughed out loud. Like an actual laugh out loud. Mm-hmm. That's a lot for a comedy now. To hit you right with it, I was in. Like, I was sold right off the bat.
And I would argue they had to.
Oh, they had to pull you in quick.
Real fast.
Yep, you only got this much leash to make people laugh before they can buy in. Mm-hmm. And they did it quick. I was the same way. This movie was able to allow me to let my guard down and just be and hit with funny and react. I didn't think it was going to work. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to hold up. Will this style of comedy, this the physical comedy, the running gags, all that stuff, the wordplay, the puns, it did. 5 minutes in, I was crying laughing. I haven't laughed in a long time, and so was everybody around me. So, my initial take was just thank you.
I was worried we, in 2025, couldn't handle a spoof film like this. But I started to believe, just as Jim said, right in the opening titles, when they started and they ran out of space, and they put the gun on the end. Oh my God, it's so funny. And that was, again, it was like, okay, I see where you're going to go with this. You also worry in comedies like this that they spend all their currency in the trailers.
Right.
And you're like, okay, we've seen the bit about the girl who walks in the bank and she, what do you want, little girl? And Liam Neeson pulls the Mission Impossible mask off and it's him. Like, that's pretty funny. They could have just left it at that. But they put out another trailer, which, again, is fine. It's not like it's a superhero movie you need a bunch of lore on. But, they put out another trailer with some more funny bits and you're like, oh, no. did they just waste everything that they have? Let me tell you, no, they did not. And that was a triumph of Naked Gun.
It was nonstop. I mean, for me, what got me immediately was plot device.
Just going to get to that.
Like, that's just immediately
so funny.
Let's just call it what it is, which is a stupid plot device.
Oh, my God. And then it was an acronym.
Yeah.
And then they explained what the acronym was later, like it was a serious thing.
Yeah.
Professional. Oh, God, so funny.
Yeah. I know. I wondered if are things too politically correct? Are we too guarded from laughing at things? And the answer was no.
No, the Naked Gun proved that it can be done, and I don't know if it's nostalgia or just I don't know what it is, but it was wonderful.
Well, what's important for this too is so I'm sitting next to my wife watching this, and I'm laughing, and she's not getting it. Which is totally okay. There's certain things.
She wasn't in that zone.
No. For certain jokes, she enjoyed the movie, but there's certain jokes that aren't hitting. And it's for people that maybe know the previous iterations of it, or there's certain references as well, which is great because it still didn't take away from the movie because there's so many jokes that just because you didn't get one or two does not ruin your experience. Or if something has to be explained after the fact, doesn't ruin the experience. There's not one single thing that everything is just banking on to sell the movie. They had nonstop, and that's what kept people engaged. Because also, once you go back and watch, you're like, oh, that really was funny. Like you're going to forget things, or you're going to miss things. Like there's already things I know I've forgotten about the movie when I watch again because it's still going to be really funny, and that's what matters.
I thank you for saying that because I really think that's the genius of Naked Gun in 2025. Is you've got Seth MacFarlane in there, so he's got that rat-a-tat-tat Family Guy mentality of comedy that has 10 jokes per minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I found in Naked Gun was even if it was a joke that I thought, oh, that was stupid, before that thought was finished, they hit me with something else that was super funny. And so I could toss that aside. So it didn't even allow you to be dissatisfied with the jokes that were happening in that moment because the next one's coming and it's going to be great.
What is challenging sometimes when you see comedies that are from a previous franchise, and they're obviously this isn't a remake or anything like that, they're continuing the story, is how do you transition from a day and age where certain technology didn't exist, and you transition where jokes are made because of that technology not existing. How do you transition properly to a new day and age? I thought they did it pretty flawlessly, how they took the electric cars with cell phones, body cams, car cams, all these types of things. They included the new tech that we didn't have in previous iterations into the joke.
And found what's funny in that new technology. And seized on it.
Absolutely. And the good thing is, too, is we know that comedy can be extremely divisive, right? Just nowadays, everything is very divisive. What they accomplished in this movie was, I feel like they can make everyone laugh. They found a way. They found a good formula to make a general wide audience be able to laugh, whether it's self-deprecating humor of like, I believe that, but it is pretty stupid and funny and I can laugh at myself, or making fun of others, but not in a way that's offensive. It takes a very amount of genius writing to be able to accomplish that, to where you don't segment people off in comedy nowadays.
Yeah, it's a high wire act.
And they did a pretty good job of that, of making fun of themselves, or maybe even what they believe or don't believe, and did it in a way that is humorous and approachable to where you can digest this humor and still laugh at yourself, even if it's truly something like, I get that. I get that about myself.
One of the great things about seeing it in the theater, obviously, is you have the energy of all the people around you. Laughter is contagious. But I heard people laughing and commenting in a super positive way, like, oh my God, it's so funny. And they were the category of people that maybe the joke was about.
Right.
So I there was something, not only like we can all laugh because maybe the lights are turned on, we're not worried about being self-conscious, but also like, people were just like embracing, like, go ahead, make fun of me. That's funny. And being okay with it.
There were some good cameos in here that made it fun, but it didn't rely on cameos, right?
Right.
Like bringing back Weird Al.
Well,
really
they kind of had to.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But, and then if you stay through the credits, he's still there,
He's
right?
performing at the show that was supposed to be a show.
Exactly.
For the people who survived that thing.
Now, not necessarily a cameo, but this is an Easter egg. We'll get back to cameos. Did you guys stay through the credits?
I did.
Did you watch the credits?
Yes.
Did you at home watch the credits? Because if you didn't, you got to go back and watch the credits because there's so many great Easter eggs in the credits that you have to pay attention.
Just in the crawl.
In the crawl.
In the crawl.
You
have to read.
There's a scene. You got to read.
You got to read.
Oh,
it
man.
makes you pay attention. Now, how many movies have done that where you actually have to read the credits?
There's probably 4.
And who would have said the stupid Naked Gun movie is going to make me read?
Yeah.
Oh, it rewards you.
But in terms of the cameos, the one that got me that I know was very fast, and maybe people that aren't familiar with the previous ones, was obviously Priscilla Presley.
Yeah.
And it was a quick flash right there, too. I was like, ah! And now it's like, who? What? Like, oh, well, just listen to the podcast. People get pissed.
You know what's interesting? We always rip on trailers here about how trailers give too much away and all that. And the teaser had the "Hey, Daddy, I love you" or whatever. You know, miss you.
Yeah.
And then they go through all the thing, and then O.J. Simpson, you know, that whole thing, which was, I mean, like there were
funny.
There was outright laughter in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
When you're waiting to see.
How are they going to handle the OJ thing?
Yeah.
When you're waiting to see Sinners, everyone's busting all that because that teaser was so funny and the joke. And I thought it was just for the teaser. I didn't think they were actually going to put it in the movie. They put it in the movie, and it was still funny, even though you knew what it was because you saw it from the teaser. That's, I think, the mark of a real comedy is that even when you know it's coming, it's still funny. So I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
I will say my only criticism is that for 3/4 of the movie, I was doubled over laughing so hard. Last quarter of the film, they had to focus on more on action and resolving this thing, and it wasn't as funny, even though there's some great gems along the way.
They had to wrap it up. And then another thing, too, that we don't necessarily get as much in comedy, but you have to in this kind of slapstick way, is suggestive comedy. Right, like the scene in the kitchen, and somebody spying on them, and seeing just the silhouettes, and it's like that kind of humor still makes me laugh because all of us have a teenage person in them still. When it comes to humor, right? Sometimes teenage humor is great if it's done well because it's suggestive in ways like that is ridiculous, and oh my gosh, what are they seeing?
How did they bring a snowman into the relationship?
And then you have that.
So funny.
But it's that kind of thing, that kind of humor, it's got to be so outlandish that it makes you laugh. And that's what they accomplished with it. I'll keep on going. I really, really enjoyed every bit that they put in here. And not everything's going to be for everyone, but I feel like everyone can enjoy some part of this movie.
All right, let's get scores. Naked Gun 2025. Who wants to kick us off?
I'll go because I'm going to just quickly list a few of my favorite things. The plot device, amazing. The now serving fight line, hilarious. The Black Eyed Peas gag was excellent.
Yeah.
The crane game where he's like, okay, let's clean it up. And then a crane comes down and gets the car.
Loved it.
So funny. And then, of course, the joke about the, how can I possibly narrow down how many people I've killed in the line of duty or beat up, whatever. And he's like, oh, well, he was white. Oh, it was that guy or whatever. That was so funny. So there's all kinds of different layers to this. I loved it. I don't think I want a sequel, but I would, of course, entertain the idea if Bradford's right, if they gave it time. I'm going to go 6.5. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. I did not think they were going to be able to pull this off to any kind of credibility just in the times that we're in right now. And I just thought there's just no way. Liam Neeson, I thought, okay, he's a great pick for this and whatever. And again, the teaser I was very excited about, but I really thought, they blew it all out in the last trailer trying to get people to the theater. It's not good. We're going to have seen it all. And there was plenty to go around. It was really, really awesome. But I also think a movie like this doesn't exactly get top filmmaking marks. So I'm going to go 6.5.
It's not Oscar material.
Yeah.
But I will jump in and say I also can't give it like, oh, is this a great narrative from start to finish? No. Is this a vehicle for just serving you laugh after laugh after laugh? Yes. Did it work? Yes, it did. I think Seth MacFarlane is the perfect hand you want on this project, because he does have that ability to jump around and make people laugh, whether it be just something physical, a reference back to something that maybe somebody older in the audience is going to get, but also anybody's age can enjoy. Pamela Anderson was great. Didn't know she had the comedic chops to pull it off. Liam Neeson, I know there's a lot of people that didn't think he could do it because they've just come to know him as an action star, which is kind of funny. Schindler's List. But
the Taken movies.
Live and Die in the West with Seth MacFarlane. He was pretty good in that as a comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it was just a wonderful surprise that it pulled off what I wasn't sure could happen. I'm giving it a 7.0.
So there's been a few Liam Neeson movies where he's still trying to be the action star that have really sucked recently.
Yes.
And I've just continued to rail on those. Like,
he's
dude,
collecting
it's time.
paychecks.
He is. And he's addressed that as well, too. He's like, I'm getting older. I can't be doing these anymore. It's like, I agree. Please.
We're not going to fight you.
No argument here, sir.
Please continue to do comedy because he is a great comedic actor. He could do the deadpan so well because he has a serious face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a funny face. And that's what helps so much.
That's his weapon.
He has a very serious face, and I really enjoyed him in this role. And Jim, I'm glad you mentioned Pamela Anderson because we didn't get to it in discussion. It's so happy to see her having her own renaissance as well of getting back into it with The Last Showgirl and this, and then you see a budding relationship even with her and Liam Neeson as well. That she just looks happy. She looks happy to be acting now and to have roles that she can, I don't want to say be herself, but enjoy being in. And see her in a different light as well, too. And to see her do physical comedy was absolutely great. Forgot to mention Dave Bautista, that his cameo as well was hilarious.
Yep. Super.
So just the movie overall was...
I'm not even in this movie.
was great, dumb, fun comedy. And you don't get that often nowadays because studios aren't putting the money behind it, or they're put it straight to streaming and then it gets lost, or it actually isn't a quality comedy product as well. Because we've talked how many times about how there just aren't as many comedy movies being made, and if they are, they're not quality.
If they are, they're going straight to streaming.
Straight to streaming.
Where there's no collective laughter in the room because it's just you and maybe one other person, maybe two others.
And this brings back comedy from what I truly missed. And I know we'll get to our big question of what, older comedy still holds up, because there just aren't many now. You think in the past decade, how many true good comedies that have been made that have been theatrical releases? There aren't that many. You probably name them between one or two hands max. And there used to be multiples. You think the 90s.
They were pumping them out like crazy.
Major comedies that were actually good and funny. And there's a nostalgia factor, but you still think they hold up and are still funny.
Yeah.
It is curious to me, though, and you don't see this happen all the time, especially for a comedy, that the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is an 88 and the audience is a 73.
Really?
Like, did not anticipate that.
You would think in a comedy, especially, if you flip like a drama or a suspense or like a good movie, you would typically sometimes see critics being that much higher because audiences just don't get it.
With a weightier film, yes.
But in a comedy, you would think the audience would be like, no, this was great. You're a stupid critic. What are you talking about? Here, the critics loved it. I mean, an 88 overall, over 300 reviews in critics as well.
It's amazing.
So, and I think that too is speaking to critics understanding how good comedy is just few and far between now. And this is really good comedy. When you want a good comedy film that is not long, you don't have to draw it out. We all know about wasting time, right?
Yes.
When you know you can go for 90 minutes, it bumps it up for me. Because I'm like, this is going to be great. 90 minutes, there's not going to be a deep, dark story that we have to follow. We're just going to go in and laugh. And for that's why I give it a 7. Because overall, this is just a really solid comedy that I can definitely see myself watching again. Putting just on the TV as I'm doing other things around the house as well, too. But understanding that this could have legs for a new generation of comedy fans, too, right? Like, look at the comedies that each generation of us, because we're different age brackets here, that we grew up with, that you still remember, you still quote, you want more of, you can always just watch it if you need something just to pass the time by. This is going to be that kind of movie, hopefully, for teenagers or for 20-somethings that watch this now in their formative years, that they can go back to like, this was really funny because I remember these jokes. So I hope it does that for people.
On the Untitled Film Project Podcast, we like to do in every episode a big question.
This allows you to weigh in and be part of the show. So the big question this week is, what comedy from back in the day, whatever that means to you, would still work today. It would still stand the test of time. Let me give you a couple that don't. Okay. High Fidelity. Wonderful comedy. John Cusack, Jack Black, one of his first films. Set in a record store. Not overly a thing as it was back in the day. Mallrats. Malls are pretty much dead, so that's not a thing anymore. Ace Ventura. Subject matter, no. So those are 3 examples that will not work. So we're asking, go back in the day, whatever that means to you, and give us a comedy that would, if it came out tomorrow, would still work for the most part. Jim, you go first.
Okay, my family and
I hope it's not one of the 3 that I just mentioned.
No, you bastard. We do a movie night as a family. My kids are grown. It's a chance for us to come together, have dinner, and watch a movie. And this variety of movies that we watch is just fantastic, and we discover so much fun. We're doing it in years now. And just within the last month, my son chose a movie that we went to go see in the theater, but did not know if it was going to hold up upon another watching in a different time and era. That movie was Tropic Thunder. Oh, just it might be peak Ben Stiller comedies, right? He's in the hottest portion of like the Zoolanders and all those
Something
great,
About Mary.
Meet the Parents and all that.
Features
stuff.
one of the best black actors of our time, Robert Downey Jr.
Absolutely, and also one of the things we're like, is that touching the third rail? Are we going to get electrocuted for laughing at that joke? And so with an audience that spans, like my daughter who's in her mid-20s and all the way up to me, fossil. We laughed so hard. So it holds up. There's a lot of like untouchable taboo things, and I think a lot like Naked Gun, it's okay to laugh at them. And you can step away and say, I'm not a terrible person for doing it.
For liking this movie.
Exactly. And it also, it has so many of those things like, I forgot. There's so many actors in this movie that have gone on to do incredibly funny things. So you're seeing them kind of like, when they just hit their stride. So it's filled with a lot, still hilarious. I highly recommend rewatching Tropic Thunder.
One of the best bits is just Tom Cruise
as his unhinged agent.
Yeah, like that is one of the best things in a fat suit. That's what you never would. And dancing around, it's like the things that he's actually done. When you think about Tom Cruise, the little just cameos he's done in movies are actually pretty darn funny.
And this one was before his career got big. So congratulations to him on Tropic Thunder.
But because of who he is, for him to be able to be like, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. And to watch people who didn't know that he was going to have a cameo in the movie discover that was him was fun. And they enjoyed it.
Didn't he rehash that role like the MTV?
I think he did.
VMAs or something like that.
For a live event.
Yeah, for a live event, where it's like another big thing. It's like that's how much it meant back then. That he actually rehashed that role because it was such a huge hit.
Yep, holds water.
Yep.
Bradford.
Okay, so I think it was last week or the week before, just on TV, were the 2 Austin Powers movies.
There's 3, so which one? We kind of forget about Goldmember, but
no, the Goldmember is the second one.
That's the third one.
What's the second one?
Spy Who Shagged Me with Heather Graham.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
That's the second one. The first one is called Austin Powers, Man of Mystery.
With Heather Graham.
No. That is with
Liz Hurley.
Thank you, Elizabeth Hurley.
Shit.
This turned into the greatest moment in the podcast history.
I forgot about that one. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
They only showed Goldmember and International Man of Mystery.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
On the TV.
Where were you seeing this? Was this on
like TBS, TNT, something like that?
Okay, so it's a cable salute.
Anyways.
Yeah, the sharks and lasers on their heads. That's the first
Right. Yeah. Hold on. No. I completely lost track. I blended them two together. But anyways.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Point aside, overall, they pretty much hold up from a comedic standpoint. And because they're spoofs, I think that's what helps so much, because they're spoofing the 60s spy movies in these, but bringing them into present day. And he plays multiple characters, which we've seen multiple actors do, like Eddie Murphy, things like that. And I almost wish we had more, because some of the running gags are still funny in these movies. Yeah. Are there some things that are inappropriate? Yes. But overall, the movies are still very, very funny because of the spoof gag. And that's why I still laugh at them. And I can still quote, well, the first and the third one, a lot And you have the
what you thought were the first and the second.
Yeah.
and the way too that I can still quote them to a T, to the point that I annoyed my wife while doing it, because I was saying the line.
That's always a win.
Before, yeah. And I hadn't seen these movies obviously in a long time.
They make them better if you do.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it better if you.
Yeah,
do it.
we're talking 10 plus years since I've watched these movies, and again another Tom Cruise cameo.
I forgot.
What?
What's Tom Cruise's
In Goldmember.
cameo?
Oh,
It's got to be.
I don't
Goldmember, 'cause
remember.
That's what I've seen once and hated.
He plays Austin Powers in the movie.
That's right. He does.
Oh, I forgot.
Along
That's
with
right.
Gwyneth Paltrow, Danny DeVito's Mini-Me,
I forgot
Kevin
all about
Spacey
that.
as
I
Dr.
forgot
Evil.
about that. Yep.
Right? Like, it's one of those another Tom Cruise cameo bit that happens in there too. But I feel like they hold up pretty well. There's nothing to where it's like, ooh, that's just where it makes you cringe.
Yep.
Overall, they're still good comedies. And I kind of wish there was another one, but I think it was, what movie ruined Mike Myers? Was it the Love Guru?
The Love Guru.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
would
one.
ruin-
That one does not
That would
hold
ruin
up.
most people.
He burned a lot of comedic bridges with that movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine doesn't have a Tom Cruise cameo, so I apologize if that's a theme we're going for. I didn't get the memo for that. The movie I think that would still hold up today, the comedy that would still hold up if it came out tomorrow, is Best in Show.
Ah.
That whole like mockumentary spoofing thing, it's at its best. I know, Office fans, do not come at me. Office is great. The Office is great, but Best in Show, I'm putting it on the Mount Rushmore #1. I mean, it's
fair.
unbelievably
It's
great.
peak. It's amazing.
Everyone's in their prime. It's hilariously relatable because there's different types of people, right? Stereotypes, and of course, just there's dogs involved, which is always great. So,
And in a script that was just a few things jotted on a piece of paper.
yes, for sure.
This is peak Christopher Guest
Yes.
and friends improving and creating the most hilarious
Oh my God.
situations and reactions and quotable things.
And it could come out tomorrow, and it would still be like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So here's to hoping for an anniversary release. Best in Show is my answer to the question of what comedy would still work from back in the day.
So what comedy, upon rewatching, you go, oh man, this still works? Let us know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast. Hit us up on social and just tell us, what movie have you discovered or you're absolutely convinced would still work if it was released today? You can find me on most of the socials, Jim Chandler Now.
That was my whole name, Jeremy. Can go. It's Gover time.
Justin B. Bradford.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.